Yeah, I know Mikadoman fairly well. Member of the Grid Bar Discord. Played against him several times and got destroyed all of them. Um, he's not one of the fastest players, but he's very methodic and is very calculating with his moves. He doesn't like doing things if he doesn't think they will do something for him. And that calculatedness, and let's pretend it's a word, it's, is going to be something like it's going to bring him a lot of wins. His strategizing is very good. His tactical play is very good. His micro is is good to fulfill a strategy. Um, and I don't know Coco at all, so that's gonna be interesting to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I don't know him at all either. Other than that, he probably apparently likes the number six. And yeah, as we mentioned, or like as we talked about off screen earlier, um, the 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 decision making is so important in this game that it yeah it doesn't really matter if you're like a super fast player or not. Like it's probably difficult to throw off Mikadoman, I would imagine.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he's a very solid player, and very methodical as you mentioned. I just looked up Coco. He's Conqueror 3 actually. Um, and so we have Coco 1666 in on the right side of the map. Let's pause real quick. It's a little bit shaky right now. So he's playing the Abbasid on the right side. And on the left side we have Mikadoman playing the Rus. So Abbasid against Rus on Pigeon's View.
Yeah,
Well,
looks
unpause.
like both players have a lot of resources in the back of the base, but both goals are forward.
He has a
Both goals are forward, so
double
that's gonna
stone
be some
here.
aggression right there.
Yes, a lot of deer double stone here, berries in the back. So as a Byzantine, you would be happy here. Double hunting cabin coming up, so very nicely done here. Um, and then yeah, as you mentioned here, also like stone in the back. Then there's stone as well here in the back. So you love to see that as Abbasid, that's for sure. Um, double berry spawn here in the back as well. Um, so double berries instead of double deer. But overall, not a lot of wood actually. Like only three small wood lines for each player. So it will be a little bit tougher for Rus, for example, with the high trade house to find a good spawn. I mean, of course, you could place it here and you get all the stealth forest here, but it's not very many trees in terms of numbers, and so a high trade house probably this would be like one of the best options. But then it's also kind of exposed. I mean, yeah, you could wall it off here or whatever. So we're gonna see like what kind of route he's going to play as. Um, and yeah, with Abbasid, as I said, stone in the back, very safe, very nice. You can go for a couple of TCs, maybe put one down here to secure the gold a little bit. Um, but that's also tough with all the stealth forest too, so to really, get a good picture of what your opponent is doing. And
Secure is relative. Let's put it that way.
wait, yeah,
Secure is relative.
right, yeah. Because okay, so the funny thing is, if let's say you would go for a TC here, since it's not your starting TC, it doesn't actually uh, give you vision, provides vision into the stealth force. So you could have a unit in here and you wouldn't even see it. So it could be tricky here, that's for sure. But we're gonna find out in just, yeah, I was gonna say in a couple minutes, but actually in a couple seconds. The economic wing is coming up. So we are gonna see a couple TC play here. What do you think? How many does he wager to go with?
Just the two. We have a golden gate here for Mikadoman, so it's either fast castle or double TC for him, I imagine.
Hmm?
It's going to be a very eco game with the resources in the back. Coco could try to mess up the deer packs out here.
Yes.
He doesn't. He just scouts. He's a golden tower. That's pretty good. Um, yeah, and we see the stone getting taken already by Coco. Coco could try to be aggressive. and go for just the one extra town center. But I'm thinking here that 3 TCs is pretty good because the wood lines may be small, but the walling isn't difficult. If you look at it,
Yes.
the north wall that's kind of tough for Coco, but the other 2 walls are just they're short. They're gonna be short walls.
Yeah, definitely. You don't need to use a lot of resources to put down some walls. Um, that's that's definitely an option to just wall yourself, not wall yourself in necessarily, but like to secure a couple spots, and then you're safe and you know where the opponent only has the angles to attack you from. We already see a couple of villagers here on stone. So he's definitely at least gearing for 1 TC. We're gonna see if he pulls them off, if he's only going for 1 or 2 extra TC. So if he continues mining all the or most of the stone there and going for multiple TCs here, he does have enough stone right now, I believe. But let's check.
Yeah, he does.
Wait, where can I?
Yeah, that's a second TC on the deer.
All right, okay, yeah.
Which, you know, perfect. So he's going to be a little bit aggressive, maybe. I was just waiting for the upgrade to finish. That's so frustrating.
Yeah. You always have to wait for that one. I mean, it only takes like 30 seconds, but yeah, it's painful 30 seconds where you're like, oh please, I want to just get it down here. So nicely done here with his economy, his resource split. Like this is perfect. If you look at it, like almost no wasted quote unquote resources here. So extremely well played. Like I mean, as I said, Conqueror 3, Conqueror 1, like great players. And let's see. So yes, I mean, like it is in the stealth forest, but he might even get like those trees at some point. So that probably doesn't really concern him for now. And it's way in the back here for him, so yeah, just walling it off here a little bit, and then he'll be safe. He is completely off gold right now, so he either... I mean, I was certain that he wouldn't go for a fast castle, but he's completely off gold. Is maybe a little bit surprising, but at the same time, I'm not an Abbasid main, so... we do have the outpost here, so he wants to have vision here because, yeah, he doesn't see anything here. There could be, like, 3 Ruse Knights and he wouldn't know about it. Scout is going down here, so nice catch here for Coco. Let's take a look at the Ruse here. So, nothing so far here in terms of second TC. There's no stone.
Did you see? Sorry, did you see the tech that Mikadoman is going for? He's going for Pro Scouts.
Oh yeah, actually he's going for Pro Scouts. And it's okay, so there is a knight coming out, but I mean he will have a tough time finding anything to raid. So there's no wills here, there's a couple wills here, but they're safe here by the palisade wall, and then he would have to go all the way around here, and then he's already in TC range. Plus he does have enough scouts, so he could take the scout with him to find division. He's currently, well, he'll go for this one here, for now. So
yeah, so Mikadoman with going 2 ranges, 1 stable. Gonna try to go for a big push. But the TC in the back of the base is really good for Coco here. That little wall is also fantastic. I love it. That wall is designed to prevent knights from simply tapping in the wood line and coming back. Going to get an outpost on that gold. Coco seems to have this game at least under control.
yeah,
We haven't seen all that much interaction yet, so let's wait for it. But Coco has this game under control here. For Mikadoman, he has to... With this build, he has to be aggressive, and he is. He's taking the deer, Coco's second deer, and he will take his own deer eventually. So that's going to be pretty good for him. I wouldn't be too surprised as well to see survival techniques getting researched very soon. He's getting wheelbarrows, gonna get more scouts.
yeah. I think.
Oh my! Another range and the barracks. Oh my!
Wow. Yeah, he's really ramping up the military production here, which is great. I mean, he has all the food he needs. I definitely think he should go. Yeah, there's the survival techniques. I mean, if you're going for so many deer, you definitely need to go for the survival techniques as well to really utilize all the food that you're gathering here. A little bit of a yeah, I don't know, miss micro here maybe, I don't know. So he's losing one scout here, also alerting his opponent about his strategy here with all the deer here. So not a huge surprise, but at the same time it is. It is giving away his strategy here, at least for the prolonged feudal game. He did use the tickets here. So
Yeah, he is using the tickets very well. He just used a food ticket. He's getting all of the upgrades. Very risky for Mikadoman because Coco is going for a major push already with 7 archers, 2 spears. No tower in the gold, so the gold is gonna have to be vacated.
Yeah, and then this is not gonna cut it. 1 horseman and then 2 archers running right into those 2 spearmen. So that is bad. Has to leave the house here as well. Couldn't even finish it. So he is housed right now. This would have been his population increase, so he has to go for a house on a different spot as well. And yeah, as you said, like the gold has to be vacated. No gold income, which means there's less knights coming out. Not just a wolf here. Okay, well, great. And yeah, the scouts are just.
The scouts are dying. That's terrible.
So I think that's like he only is okay. So he killed like 3 scouts at least, and then one more. Was it a horseman? Well, I don't know. But like most casualties of this game are scouts by now. And we might. So let's see. Okay, there's not enough wood right now. But we might actually see a ram push coming in here from the Abbasid because they can construct siege units without having to, you know, put on the blacksmith and then researching the. I always forget the name. Siege construction.
Siege engineering.
Siege engineering. That was it.
Siege engineering. Yeah.
Siege
One of my
engineering.
favorite techs in the game.
Well, the thing is, like, I know what it does. I just don't know what it's named. Like, especially because,
I know the name, yeah.
especially because it's not even. Okay, I was gonna say like it's not my native language. You know, I'm German. Like, I don't know what the English. I don't even know what the German name is. So what am I what am I pretending here? So nice little fight here between those 2 armies. So the knights are doing a good job here, in theory at least, keeping the spearman busy, and he has enough archers to push Coco back actually. He does have an edge in his military techs. So nicely, as you mentioned, like the methodical player, like everything basically researched by now. So that is very nice, and it gives him a little bit of an edge, a little bit more damage, a little bit more ranged
Mikadoman is bringing in a scout for vision, but the scout has a deer carcass in the back.
Oh no! Yeah, that means it's like super slow. It's like almost half as fast, and he really needs that scout. So he has the scouts here, so he has a little bit of a vision here at least, but a little bit difficult here to push into him, especially now here with the outpost. No arrow slits or something, but he can easily get his villages in, and yeah, there's no fun running into the outpost no matter what. Let's see.
On another news, we have Mikadoman going for the boar. The boar in the northwest, right by a trade post and the sacred site. 8 workers building a tower, just like the book dictates. And Coco is getting destroyed by the infantry, trying to expand, and there's a big fight.
Yeah, the wolf definitely on Mikadoman's team this game.
The wolf with 1 kill already.
Yeah, it's so funny to watch that happening. And the thing is, like for example, I usually react like immediately to wolf sound, but just because it annoys me so much, not because it's necessarily so, you know, like dangerous. But those pro level players, you know, like they probably like, it doesn't really matter. It's like 2 damage per hit or whatever it is. But if you're not careful and you wait for half a minute, well, that definitely kills a villager. So not being careful
One's
there.
already down.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, let's move back to the regular view here. So a nice, I mean, a nice fight in terms of, well, there's something happening, but at the same time, definitely in favor of Coco here, who, by the way, also got his army upgrades here. Mikadoman needs to be careful here with his rally points, that he's not running his single units into, yeah, exactly this, into the army of the opponent. So he basically lost the knight here without getting anything done, so that's very unfortunate. And yeah, that was one of the last nails in the coffin for this game here.
Yeah, I don't understand why Mikadoman tried to go for the big attack. He should want to keep at least the knights alive, and just keep Coco away, because it's clear that his plan now was to go for the other boar. I don't think you can go look back at the map anymore, but he had villagers going out on the other boar, and if you try to keep Coco away in his base, you could hopefully try to get their deer as well. So, and in the long run, Mikadoman is not at such a big disadvantage because Abbasid's economy was coming alive now. But if you're getting the boar, if you're getting deer, like, your economy is going to be much more efficient than Coco's.
That's gonna be an interesting interesting matchup to see here.
Definitely.
So
yeah, Delhi versus China. That couldn't be more different.
yeah,
the way that they play.
Couldn't be more different is a good way to put it. So we're playing on Gorge now, which is a great map for Delhi because all the sacred sites are in the middle of the map. So one is where you would pass through to go to your opponent, and the other ones are on each side of the cliff here, basically. So let's take a little quick look here. The cliff is really small in 1v1, but it's a lot bigger, of course, in multiplayer. So 3 sacred sites dead in the middle, very nice for the Delhi. So Mikadoman playing the Delhi in green here on the left side. Mosque and Milk coming up as usual. He took a little bit of wood already, which you kind of need a lot for with Delhi actually in the early game. And then Coco in red again, playing the Chinese. Also here with the mill on Berry. Okay, a little bit undecisive here with the village. And then the Imperial official here as well. So pretty standard opening here, right?
Yeah, explaining how both civs work a little bit in the early game, while we have a bit of a lull, downtime. So Delhi doesn't pay for their upgrades, but they take a long time to complete. So that's why they take a lot of wood, because you really want to get all of your infrastructure up as soon as possible, including blacksmiths, including stables, mills, lumber, everything. You want everything as soon as possible so that you can start getting those upgrades. But that the extra gold that you don't spend on those upgrades is targeted over for army, so they have a really large feudal army. Ghazi Raiders, their horseman replacement, are also really good units. So that's what Delhi tries to do, and they have a really powerful feudal age because of that, especially after the first wave of upgrades kicks in. You have, on the other hand, Chinese, which plays exactly the opposite. They have a very fast setup with the Imperial official. Imperial official overseeing the mill. The mill gets food faster, gets more food per drop off. I said faster, not faster. They get more food per drop off, and also they generate stacks. So as you can see, that was perfectly timed by me. Coco is now dropping off the tax. That's 40 extra gold. That's a really nice addition for Chinese. The Chinese are very versatile. They also have the dynasty mechanic. As you can see on the top right, it says Tang Dynasty. They can go through dynasties and they provide the different bonuses. It's really interesting, the dynamic between these two civs. I think it's really good games. Chinese really try to slowly go up that tech tree, while Delhi tries to make a big, powerful punch early on and keep that momentum going. So should be a very fun, very interesting match. And we do have Imperial Academy with 4 workers, very interesting, from Coco. And the Dome of the Faith from Mikadoman. I know he loves the Dome of the Faith over Tower of Victory. And Dome of the Faith usually means that you're going for faster attacks and you really want to make your big, powerful push in Castle Age, where you're going to have a lot of scholars. Dome of the Faith, of course, produces scholars at a 65 gold discount, and it's just like a regular mosque. Those stacks that take a long time to complete, they speed up the more scholars you have.
Yeah, that, and also with I don't know why it doesn't really properly show it, but there's like an influence range. So if you have the mill here with the plus, then it's in the influence range, and so the speed is really increased. If it would be outside and not have the plus here, and not like again, like why doesn't it really show the influence range? Then it wouldn't have the increased production or like research speed. And so yeah, Dome of the Faith, as you mentioned, like indicates a more focus on the techs, and then probably also more Castle Age play. Although I don't even know if like nowadays you can really say it like this, because Dome of the Faith has been the more standard landmark, at least on high level play, for a long time now. So it doesn't really necessarily mean that you're not focusing on Feudal Age. With the Imperial Academy, I'm not really surprised to see that here, because you're not too much concerned about raids coming in. There's no knights coming in Feudal Age by Delhi, and so you wouldn't, for example, need the Barbican here to protect your resources. And so, plus you can get it like relatively quickly afterwards anyway. So Imperial Academy, definitely the right play here, boosting the options for your Imperial officials just a little bit. So that's very nice here. With there you can actually see the influence range. What is really strange? Anyway, but yeah, so
very, very awkward, because you also have Mikadoman selected.
yeah, that's what I don't understand. That's really strange. Like, let's switch back. Like, it doesn't. Okay, it still works here for this player and only for this player, no matter which player I select. Okay,
now
anyway.
we see who's the game's favorite.
Well, yeah, the game has spoken apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, let's take a look at how the players are doing. So we have a Sanctity coming up, which is of course the reason why Delhi can take the Sacred Sites in Feudal Age already, which no other civ can. We only have 2 villagers on gold here, which is totally fine, since they are only like 130 generally, the scholars, but with the Dome of the Faith they're only 65, having the 65 discount. And so you don't need as many. It's like if you wouldn't go for the Dome of the Faith, you probably would need 3, maybe even 4 villagers on gold to pump out a couple of scholars to at least get the 5 in here, and then yeah, maybe have a second mosque even. So without Dome of the Faith, probably have a second mosque up, and then 2 blacksmiths, and then just pump away. With the Dome of the Faith, that of course is not needed. And then yeah, as I mentioned, the Barbican here, super annoying in the early game. I think like for Feudal Age, one of the best defensive landmarks in the game. So
yeah, up there with the Kremlin.
yeah, in a way, I think it's even better than the Kremlin, because it's like 25 damage per shot, and so it definitely feels like it's doing more damage, even though it's like on average it's probably roughly the same. Same with the town
Especially against
centers.
the knights, where
yeah,
the Kremlin has a lot of arrows, and all of those arrows get the armor damage mitigation, where the Barbican only gets it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing, and then the other thing is like with the Kremlin, like let's say you step into the range like just a little bit, and then you step out, you take like 1 arrow and you lost like 10 health. or less, and with the Barbican it's already 25. Same with the town center. Like if you're not careful and you take like 3 shots, your scout is almost dead. So you gotta be careful with those Chinese blasting the cannons over you. And yeah, as you mentioned, the Ghazi Raiders, the better version, horseman version, sort of, having a slight bonus against heavy damage, so they can sort of soft counter heavy armored units like the early knights or feudal men-at-arms. And then also trying to get the sacred sites. He got 2 already here, which is again one of the benefits of having the Dome of the Faith and so many scholars out. He's at 6 scholars at the moment. You can actually take all the 3 sacred sites at the same time. On lower level play, you usually see it's like he takes this one, and then he goes over to the next one, and then he takes the 3rd one. So it takes a while. But if you do it well in top level play, you could technically have all sacred sites at minute 8, 8.5. And then the sacred timer starts ticking, and you put your opponent under pressure. So he's trying to do that. At the same time, Coco is not sleeping. He has quite a nice army here as well. You hate to run into this as horsemen, as Ghazi Raiders, so gotta be careful here. If he has enough army numbers, then he can maybe contest that, but yeah, Chinese notorious for being able to push out a lot of units as well, so very dangerous here. Only 1 sacred site for now for Mikadoman, but Coco is not having it.
Yeah, not having it at all, and then sacred site's not gonna be up for long. Coco is out there decapping it. Coco with a very good play here. As you can see, he's trying to be tactical about his units, positioning them correctly, and going for the sacred sites. He's not really trying to pick a fight. Because he wants to really mess them up, and because it's against horsemen, horsemen struggle a lot against the Jugunu once the Jugunu can one-shoot them. Because so many Jugunu, the horsemen have to travel very weirdly, they have to go around almost. It's not great. Also, we're seeing a wall getting built with spearmen. I don't know how the spearmen are not gonna make it. Ooh, and once the Jugunu come in, you can see the difference in population at the top. It's just so favorable for Coco. Good micro, targeting those Ghazi Raiders, even though they're getting healed by the Scholar. The Mikadoman is gonna leave, and the Mikadoman not getting the Sacred Sites is terrible. He doesn't get that gold.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, yeah, you put your opponent under pressure because of the sacred timer. But the main reason why you actually want to do it is it's maybe not even that, but just the fact that you get double the gold with Delhi from the sacred sites, and so you really wanna get them. And yeah, the earlier you get them, the faster you get the gold, obviously, and so that's really one thing you want to focus on. And you can see like there's the lack of archers here for Mikadoman, and so even though the army value is dead even, and in theory he should be able to overpower him just by using the scholars to heal him, he doesn't have the archers to deal with all those spearmen, and that's why he can't get onto the Shuganu with his Ghazi Raiders. So he needs to mess up more archers. And then maybe he can contest that, but yeah, the numbers look scary here for Coco, for really great army numbers, composition. I mean, like you can't go wrong with the Jugunu Spearman. And there's the 3rd casualty here from Mikadoman. And not gonna be the only one. Yeah, nice surround here. 6 villagers dead. So there's quite a substantial difference here between the eco numbers and Mikadoman trying to fight this. And he is getting on top of the Jugunu with his Ghazi Raiders, but there's only like 3 left. And so not really doing a lot of damage here, not really denting into the numbers of Jugunu, and Mikadoman has to tap out.
Wow, what a series from Coco.
12
really
minutes.
Excited to see how far he goes in the tournament.
Yeah, that I think we've seen a taste of what Coco could deliver today. Again, like I'm not familiar with him. I don't know if he played with or he or she, whatever, played into the Warchief Club before. Um, but it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens here in the upcoming series. So yeah, like military. I mean that's how it always looks when I play against Chinese. It's like even though Delhi is really good at pumping out units, like it feels like China is even better than that. Um, and not to mention, so with at the end, well, at the end, like as soon as he had both the feudal age landmarks, so Imperial Academy, and then probably like somewhere here was the Barbican. Then he started to be in the Dynasty, which means that he is pumping out villagers faster. I believe it's 15 seconds. I'm not 100% sure, but like
Something like that, yeah.
15 or
Something like
16,
that.
so like some like faster. You get them faster. And so you can see like even though he was behind a little bit because he sacrificed in order to get faster to the fuel age, he went ahead here like with his villager numbers, and then he killed a couple, so there's like a more than 10 villager difference. So even if he wouldn't have won by this point, it doesn't really matter because he's already way ahead and in a great position to either go to a fast castle. He denied all the sacred sites. Great job there. And there's not really anything you can do at this point as Delhi. You're behind in any regard, like army numbers, eco numbers, villager numbers. You don't have the sacred sites. Like, okay, what are you gonna do? Like, you can't even outmass him with archers and hope that the Tower of Victory will do the job for you with a 20% attack speed bonus because you don't have that. So tough position to be in.